Did you know that Rho Talks Race was built on data from social media polls? Rho Talks Race started in October 2020 on Twitter. And I don't mean X, I mean the original Twitter. I miss Twitter. And Twitter had a very easy to use polling function. And I had the hunch early on that Rho Talks Race might get a little big and might last a little while. So I invested just a little money to push out some polling questions to Twitter users. And not just the handful who followed my profile, but more broadly. But before we look at those questions and responses, I'd like to remind you about 2020 in the good old USA. Donald Trump was serving his first term as president. COVID-19 came to the US. And in May of 2020, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, a black man named George Floyd was murdered by a white police officer named Derek Chauvin, who had pressed his knee into Floyd's neck for over 9 minutes. This led to protests across the country, calling for an end to police brutality and racial injustice. And the rallying cry, Black Lives Matter, that we had first heard in 2013, was once again part of many conversations in homes, schools, and workplaces. And so it was in that context, November-December of that year, I asked Twitter users the following questions, and they gave me the following very enlightening responses. Did conversations with your family in childhood help prepare you for the conversations we had about race and racism in 2020? Over 1,000 people responded, and 55% of them said, no, it didn't. But I wasn't done. Did your childhood faith community help prepare you for the conversations we had about race and racism in 2020? Faith community meaning church, mosque, synagogue. This time, 70% of people said no. And when I asked, did your K-12 education help prepare you for the conversations we had about race and racism in 2020? 79% of people said no, it didn't. And that, collectively, is why you've heard me say, as we begin to think and talk about race and racism in productive new ways, with Rho Talks Race, I wanted to try to provide a little of what we should have received earlier in life, but did not. Okay, so it might be a little bit of a stretch to claim that Rho Talks Race was built on polling data. Realistically, I guess the data wasn't that extensive or detailed. But at the very least, results from polls like these confirmed more broadly the conclusions I was coming to from what was going on around me. That there was some work to be done in this area. Looking back, I might say more specifically, there are times that asking for opinions makes sense, opinions can be quantifiable, and that information can inform what content you produce. What do I think should be your takeaway from this story of mine? Simple. Listen to your audience or prospective audience and try to fill a need. But wait, there's more. The sort of fine print. While you are out there looking around, deciding what work you are going to do, finding your purpose, be sure to ask yourself, what don't people need from me related to this topic? What work will I not be doing? In my case, people don't need me speaking for Black and brown people, telling their stories, or engaging in what is called white-splaining. If you check out my YouTube playlist, you will see that I've tried different approaches, different tones, different angles on this topic. But ultimately, I think Rho Talks Race has been at its best when I am teaching what is mine to teach, speaking from a white perspective, sticking to my original mission, and attempting to meet the needs of my audience. Thank you for your interest in my experience with Rho Talks Race. Have a great day.